Alright guys, today I wanted to make a video reviewing my rear hub on my BMX bike. This hub is actually the oldest part on my bike, and for some, it seems like cassette hubs are one of the most common things that actually go bad or, need to be replaced on a BMX bike that gets ridden a lot. It's one of the most frequent things people have issues with, it seems like, and a lot of people will go from hub to hub trying to find one they like. Um, so what I have just a standard Primo Remix hub, male axle, 9-tooth, left-hand drive. That's a little bit different, but just the basic Remix hub. I've had it for 2.5 years, and I have not had a single issue with it. I am so pleased with how this hub has performed. So I wanted to do a review going over the hub and going over each individual aspect of it, and just giving you guys my opinion on it, and letting you guys know how great Primo Remix Hub is. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to go over is the axle. As you can tell, I run pegs, I do grinds, and doing grinds is probably the hardest thing on an axle that you can do. So basically, before I got this Remix Hub, I think I had I had an Odyssey and I had a Cinema, and then I also think I just had a cheap stock fit hub. All three of those hubs, well, for two of the three, I can't remember which one survived, but two of the three I had to get rid of because I cased my back peg on the end of a rail or something and just completely snapped the rear axle. And a lot of that has to do with inexperienced riding, but a hub should be able to handle that at least once or twice. There should be a little bit of a give in it, I suppose, or a little bit of, it should be able to handle the occasional mistake. But both those hubs could not take it. They were both female with a 3/8" axle, so that might add a little bit to do with it. But that's also the reason why I did not buy the female version of this hub when I was looking for a new one. But this axle, I've done that too many times. Really hard a couple of times, hard enough to where I've actually yanked my wheel to one side of the frame, and this axle is still perfectly straight, which is great. So axle, definitely 10 out of 10. It's hollow keyed on the ends, even though one end of mine's kind of chewed up, so I can't fit an Allen key. But the other side you can, which makes it really easy to take the hub apart, which is awesome. You don't have to go do the whole vice grips on block nuts and stuff to pull it apart, which is awesome. So definitely axle, 10 out of 10, amazing. Alright, the next thing I want to go over is the hub shell. First thing you notice is it is a beautiful red anodized color, and there's the Remix logo right there. Not really much to say about it. I haven't had a single issue with it. It's not cracked, it's not damaged or anything. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say about it other than that, and it looks beautiful. The anodizing hasn't faded at all and turned pink on me in the 2.5+ years I've had it, so that's definitely a plus. A lot of anodized stuff will turn pink on you. I've got the Remix hub in the rear, also have the Primo N4 in the front. The N4 I got used, and it's probably about the same age as my hub. It hasn't faded either, so whatever anodizing Primo's doing to their hubs, they've definitely got it right. So hub shell, 10 out of 10. Once again, no issues with it whatsoever. Right, the next thing I want to go over are the bearings. These hubs have a total of 4 bearings in the hub shell, and then I think 2 in the driver. The 4 bearings, basically in the hub shell, what you've got is you've got 2 bearings towards the outside under here, and you've got 2 more right here. All 3 of mine are really great. The farthest outside one out here I think is blown, but that has been caused by this hub guard getting kind of smashed and tweaking the bearing out. But the other 3 are going good. The whole hub still rides perfectly smooth. Like I said, haven't had a single issue. And then for the bearings in the driver, I really like what Primo did with the bearing in the driver, because you've got one cartridge bearing that I think sits on the outside here, and then inside there's a roller bearing, which basically is this long cylinder looking thing about this long. It slides in there into these little cylinder roller bearings inside of it that are kind of caged into it, and the driver slides over that and it rolls around inside of the driver. Basically, that type of bearing can take a ton of load, because one of the more common things you'll see is that people will run their chains really tight like I do, and they'll blow those cartridge bearings out on the rear hub, But I run my chain really tight all the time just because I like to run my chain tight. I like that crisp feeling when you pedal and it just engages instantly. I don't like feeling all that slop in the chain. And I've been running it like that for 2.5 years and hasn't had a single issue. So the roller bearing, definitely a nice touch to these hubs, and every single Primo hub has had that. So definitely, bearings haven't had a single problem. Alright, the next thing I want to go over would be the driver itself. Once again, haven't had a single issue with the driver. It's hardened chromoly. Teeth haven't worn. What happens sometimes with cheaper drivers is you'll get this crescent moon shape on the back side of the teeth where the chain engages. A lot of times that's just caused by people running really stretched out chains or chains that aren't greased properly. But mine hasn't done that at all. Of course, I keep my chain lubed up, and I replace my chain about once a year, so just as basic maintenance. Chain is a part that's guaranteed to be worn and degrade on you over time, so done that, and the teeth are looking beautiful. They don't show any signs of wear on them whatsoever, so definitely the driver is great. Alright, the last component I want to go over is the engagement system. So pawls and the springs and the little tooth ring inside of the hub shell on mine are perfect. I have not had a single issue. This hub engages 100% every time. It doesn't skip. It doesn't make weird clunking noises. Engagement is quick. There's not a whole lot of play. Like you can see, that's about as much play as you get right there. Otherwise, you end up backpedaling and it engages in the next. So very quick engagement, very solid, clean engagement. There's 4 pawls and then 1 individual spring per each pawl, which is an amazing design. With single wraparound spring designs, what you end up with is a lot of times there will be 1 lazy pawl, or if the spring is even tweaked in the slightest, it can throw all of the pawls off, and you'll get this horrible crunching and clicking noise. It'll skip all the time, and it's just not good. And you can even have, seen it happen, where pawls, if the spring is not working properly, pawls can actually make their way off their little seat and go AWOL on you and seize up your driver and send you flying off the bike. Had that happen to me once on a Walmart bike. It's no fun. So yeah, the engagement system is very solid. The other thing is I put new springs and pawls in it last year, but just as regular maintenance, I just wanted to do it just to make sure to keep this HUD nice and fresh, but the old ones weren't even that worn. But I've been running this hub 100% bone dry since the day I got it. Before I even had this hub laced to my wheel, I opened it up and removed all of the grease from the pawls, the springs, and the little cog ring inside, and cleaned the entire thing. So I've been running it completely dry from day one, and also ever since I put new springs and pawls in it, it has been double sprung. So there's 2 springs pushing each pawl up, which makes it louder and makes the engagement a little bit cleaner. But it's also, on a lot of hubs, it'll cause more wear. However, with this hub, like I said, 2.5 years old, been doing it double sprung for a solid year now, and it is still going very, very strong. This hub still doesn't skip, it doesn't clunk, it doesn't do anything weird. This hub has been amazing. So alright guys, it pretty much covers everything. The only thing left to do is, because I know you probably want to hear it, is just a quick hub sound. This is what a Primo Remix hub sounds like. It's 2.5 years old, double sprung, completely dried out. This is pretty much as loud as the hub's going to get. It's nice, broken in and everything. So I'm going to set the GoPro down, pick the bike up, spin the wheel, let you guys hear it, and then that will conclude this review. Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed this little part review. Definitely, if you're looking to get a new hub, definitely go for the Primo Remix hub. One thing I didn't mention was the cost of one of these hubs. Most aftermarket hubs range, or most top-end aftermarket hubs range around $160 to $180, some a little bit less. Primo Remix like mine will cost you 135 bucks, and in my honest opinion, it is far more durable than any other hub out there. So the 200 plus dollar hubs don't have anything on a Primo Remix. And then of course, if parts go bad, this hub's really cheap to fix because these are so common, so popular. Bearings are really cheap. New pawls and spring sets are like, I don't know, $5, $10, something like that. New drivers are cheap. So definitely, guys, if you're in a market for a new hub, definitely go for the Primo Remix. But anyways, that's all I've got for you for this video. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more of this kind of stuff. And if you want more reviews, I've got a couple other parts that I've had for quite a while and have a very strong opinion on. So if you want to see any more reviews stuff, just let me know. Or if you want to see a bike check or riding, something like that, just let me know. I'll make sure to get that sort of stuff up. So anyway, that is all I have for you guys for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.